Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me to be part of this important event. I'm always honored to have an opportunity to address civic leaders, people who have chosen to lead their respective communities to make them a better place for their neighbors, to invest your professional and personal time to make your city or town a place that's safe, thriving, and nurturing for the next generation of citizens. Because you understand that strong cities and towns together make up a strong nation. I applaud you, and I thank you for your service. Over 35 years ago, I started my own career in public service as mayor of Mount Pleasant, Iowa, which is my wife's hometown. It was a role that I kind of fell into when our former mayor was murdered in a city council meeting by a citizen who was angry over a sewer problem. I knew the mayor's father through my work on community projects, and he encouraged me to run to fill the vacancy. In fact, I had just finished working on behalf of then Senator Biden in his first presidential campaign. And he often said that the penalty for not getting involved is that people less qualified than you end up governing you. I took that message to heart. Now, I know many of you have your own unique journey into public office. And many, like I did, probably found that the job is more difficult than you imagined when you first signed up. Now, the reality is you're taking on civic leadership at a time that requires a great deal more courage than was the case in the 1980s. And today, you've chosen to lead in the face of, or maybe because of, challenges like the threat of tragic gun violence, which has affected so many in this very audience, and which is a constant worry for others. Those from rural areas may have lost population as young people moved to larger cities. This in turn whittles away your revenue for hospitals and schools and weakens other resources that are critical to retaining growing families. And there are the increasingly tangible impacts of climate change, which has led to more frequent floods and stronger storms and tornadoes that can wipe out entire towns. At least one of these challenges has directly impacted, I suspect, every person here today. And yet, you've come together with your fellow civic leaders to convene around the concept of civility, to learn and share and to pursue new ideas that you can take back home to your staffs, to your city councils, and to your community members. To me, that spirit is something to be applauded. Acts of civility and a commitment to civility may not be the type of leadership style that makes headlines, but I think collaborative approaches, a willingness to respectfully listen to those you disagree with, and an openness to find common ground solutions are all something America is hungry to see more of. You know, recently I've been studying the wise people of the past, and they focused on the concept of reciprocity. I didn't quite know and understand what that was until someone explained it in the concept of the golden rule. The idea that we should treat others as we wish to be treated. And I think that's at the core of civility. And fortunately, I think civility is more present than people may often realize in today's America. When Abraham Lincoln founded the Department of Agriculture, he nicknamed it the People's Department. It's never lost on me that as Secretary of that department, I have a unique role among the President's cabinet, in that USDA's work truly touches every person, every day, and every zip code. You're also in a unique circumstance because you live among the people you serve. And I learned over time that a reward for leading with civility is that you get to see the impacts of your work on a daily basis. If you're not civil, you're not able to show people the respect and cooperation they deserve. They don't invite you into their homes or businesses and schools to share how things are going. And they may very well vote you out of office. My job is most rewarding when I get to be part of the excitement that a whole community can feel, including the young and the old, longtime residents and newcomers, and people from both political parties, when they win a USDA Forest Service grant, for example, to plant new trees that will beautify their public spaces and mitigate climate change. When I get to see the relief on the mayor's and families' faces because a community wildfire defense grant's been provided, made possible by the Forest Service, which helps them to afford upgrades to protect their homes and structures from forest fire damage. I see the pride a farmer takes in selling fresh vegetables directly to his children's school and the importance to him and her of having a steady local customer. And I learn something new every time I meet the innovative nutrition professionals who make those carrots and leafy greens more appealing to first and second graders. So I know firsthand that people of all backgrounds are looking for the best way to bolster their communities for the future. A requirement of civility is that you call upon those very same people. You get to know them and include them in your decision making. The outcomes of your decisions will be better for it, and they'll be more likely to support you in harder times. I don't need to tell you that as civic leaders, you're confronted with a lot of demands. Demands on your time, demands for limited resources, unpredictable emergencies. When I was mayor and a governor, I wish I'd known more about the Department of Agriculture and the vast resources it provides. Frankly, I think I could have been more civil if that had been the case. Now, right now, you all have the opportunity, an amazing opportunity, in light of President Biden's American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the bipartisan infrastructure law, to find resources to help solve problems that are confronting your communities. These pieces of legislation create a framework for reinvesting in communities, for creating new supply chains, including local and regional food systems, and for modernizing outdated infrastructure, making the kind of positive change that will last well into the future, and give the people of your community the tools for a better life in the communities that they love and care about. I can think of nothing more civil than investing now in our future generations. And without question, a movement towards more civility in our society and government requires a shift in mindset, not just investments. But few things pull a community together and instill a shared sense of pride more than seeing roads made safer, new businesses springing up, or young people realizing I don't have to move away from mom and dad to kind of have the opportunity that I need and want. We've been through a lot as a country over the last few years, and not the least of which was the COVID-19 pandemic. But now we're at a point to be optimistic about the future, to breathe a little easier, enabling us to have the energy to find common ground. And we have the wisdom to embrace civility, because the pandemic is something that affected every single one of us. And we got through it together. You're evidence that civility is possible. So please keep up your good work. I look forward to meeting many of you through my remaining work at USDA, and understand and appreciate that when we treat others as we wish to be treated, the world and our country and our community and ourselves will be better for it.